All right, good morning, Mr. Hudetz.
Nice to meet you.
All right, so can you please introduce yourself for the
Pleasure.
voters at home?
Absolutely. So good afternoon, and thank you first of all, League of Women Voters, for inviting us to this event, and thank you Wheaton Wheaton North High School for doing this interview. Let me say from the get-go, if elected, I intend to represent all the citizens of Wheaton, be a voice for them, and be a special voice, for the seniors in Wheaton, those special needs individuals and veterans. My name is Frank Hudetz. I'm running for Councilman at large for the city of Wheaton. I've lived in Wheaton or near Wheaton my entire life. Growing up, I was one of 12 children. I'm the fourth oldest of 10 boys and 2 girls. We all went through St. Francis High School in Wheaton and graduated from there. After high school, I decided to join the Navy, which was during the Vietnam era. It was the right decision for me because I really wasn't sure what I wanted to study in college, and it gave me time to think about that. In the service, I was honored to be given a top secret clearance, work with the Naval Intelligence Group, and be supporting our troops through work at the Pentagon and in the Philippine Islands. So after 6 years, I was honorably discharged, and then took my leave and completed that part of my life.
All right, so what qualifications do you have that make you stand out for this position?
Good questions. I think I'm very qualified for this position for 3 reasons. First of all, I have a deep business background as a CEO of a large company. Actually, it became large after I joined the company. There was 5 employees. We had sales about $500,000. We grew it to sales of $100 million and 600 employees, multinational plants in Belgium, Missouri, and in Naperville. Through that process, it definitely gave me the business background that I think every city council person should have. Secondly, a great amount of time during my adult life was spent in the governance role, serving on other boards of directors. I was board chair of the DuPage Foundation, board chair of the East West Corporate Court Association, and a number of other boards that really teach you, how to handle, different situations that come up with the company, which is similar in the city council. Last but not least, I tried to get myself ready for the city council by taking part in the 10-week Wheaton Police Academy, also being appointed a commissioner to the Wheaton Housing Commission, and last but not least, elected as a precinct committeeman. Thank you.
All right, so what are some challenges and issues that face Wheaton that you're passionate about?
Wheaton, first of all, is doing very well financially, very stable. It's a safe town to live in. The libraries are great, the parks are great, the schools are great. And so there's no immediate concerns in my mind. Long term, though, I think there is a need to really have our antenna up for what's evolving in the world of seniors. Time Magazine a few weeks ago just announced that within 10 years, there's going to be more seniors than there are children under 18 years old. And so what that's happening, or the impact for a municipality like Wheaton, is seniors, the good news, they're living longer, but somewhat concerning news is how do the city help manage seniors who are going into their 70s, 80s, and 90s. Each day, there's 11,000 baby boomers who are retiring. Unfortunately, there's more and more seniors, people over 65, who are becoming homeless. And the whole dynamic of what is unfolding here is the need for economic development that can help, maybe house these seniors. Certainly the issues of food scarcity and other needs that seniors are going to have. So my concern going forward is definitely how are we going to address the needs of seniors, and I'm looking forward to adding value to that subject.
All right, so what policies and projects do you hope to work on to help solve these issues?
Well, specifically, I think tied directly into the senior issue is really recommending that the city of Wheaton consider a development of an economic development committee. Right now, the city of Wheaton has one, but it's more or less focused internally on driving more people to shop at the stores in Wheaton and so on. We need to have a more strategic plan of how do we make best use of the land in Wheaton for potentially housing seniors who want to stay in Wheaton. And by the way, I know after working in the Wheaton Housing Commission, they all love it and want to stay here. But in cases of fixed income seniors, it's tough to pay the bills. So they need something more affordable. So within an economic development plan, I think we really need to also focus on how do we minimize the storefronts that are vacant, and how do we maximize the use of land here. There isn't much available in Wheaton, but there are different properties. For example, between Wheaton and Glen Ellen off of Pennsylvania, there's a building there that used to be a Scripture Press, I believe it is. And we know that building might be very well suited for housing for seniors. So big project, but with the right planning, I'm sure it can be done.
All right, and is there anything else that you would like to cover that you haven't covered already?
You know, I think one other idea that has percolated in my mind ever since I attended the Wheaton Police Academy is the fact that, going through that academy, we learned a lot of issues of how Wheaton is being kept safe by the police, which is wonderful, and I subscribe to how great our police force and firefighters are. But one thing I learned through them is the fact that we just recently installed these cameras that can, videotape all cars coming and going from Wheaton. Actually, will be installed this summer. So they're going to be reading license plates, which will make us much safer. But the reality is, crime in Wheaton right now, 60% of it is coming from outside of Wheaton. In other words, the perpetrators are people who don't live here. So the next best thing that many Wheaton police officers mentioned in my training is they wished everyone in Wheaton would have a video doorbell camera. So I'm going to propose, if elected and on the city council, that we seriously look at subsidizing that for, if not all of Wheaton citizens, at least for starters, maybe seniors and people with disabilities, so they can easily be calmed and not worried about who's at the door, and it'll help the police tremendously.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Hope we see you all again at the voting booth.